Hello everyone, it is Christian here from the Calcio Bros, and another weekend of Serie A has come and gone, and we were treated to a lot of great results, some upsets as well, and of course it's heating up once again, so everything's getting much closer than before. Teams are starting to pick up their form, causing issues for other squads as well, while others are improving on their form, and it's good to see that they're able to turn their season around, and it does put even more pressure on the others that are have been disappointing as well this season. So we are going to talk about all that in the next few minutes. So just bear with me right now, and let's start talking about the results that happened this weekend. So starting off round 21, we had one game on Friday, February 5th. That was Fiorentina Inter, where the Nerazzurri won 2-0 at the Franchi to get a big win to start off the weekend and putting pressure on Milan before they got to play. Going on to Sunday, we had 4 games as well. We had 2 games at 9 a.m. We had Sassuolo Spezia, where Spezia upset the host here, winning 2-1 in a good comeback victory. A huge 3 points for Italiano's men, who makes Sassuolo struggle once again, losing an important result in their season so far. The other 9 a.m. game was Atalanta-Torino, where Atalanta were up 3-0 at one point, and Torino managing to come from behind once again. Their third straight draw under Nicola, but it's their third comeback compared to how they used to be, where they would always give up the lead. And this is a good few signs for them as well, as they're able to pick up points here when they were in losing positions. So that is definitely an improvement on their side. 12 p.m. we had Juventus Roma, where the Bianconeri got a huge win, 2-0, and this does help them in the standings as well for the head-to-head, especially considering these two teams are in the top 4 right now. Ending off Saturday was one of the upsets. Another one of the upsets of the weekend was Genoa hosting Napoli, and the Griffioni taking the victory 2-1 here, thanks to a brace from former Napoli player Goran Pandev, and its huge result under Ballardini's men as well, as they continue their huge run of form ever since he has come back to the squad. Now going on to Sunday, opening up on the 7th at 6:30 was Benevento Sampdoria, both teams sharing the point here as it finished 1-1. 2 games at 9 a.m. and those were Udinese Verona, where 2 goals that were created by Deulofeu, one scored and one kinda did, as it was a Silvestri own goal, but it was a shot from Deulofeu, helped to seal the victory for Luca Gotti's men, and they actually also do get a huge victory too, as they have been struggling as of late, and getting a huge result over Verona is impressive as well. The other 9 a.m. game was Milan Crotone, where of course the hosts here at the San Siro took care of business, got a win and that they needed, and returned top of the table thanks to goals from Ibra and Rebic. At 12 p.m. we had the Emilia-Romagna derby here between Parma and Bologna, where Bologna took the victory here 3-0. It is a good victory for Bologna, while Parma lose yet once again, have not gotten a victory since November, so their struggles continue, and it is disappointing for them, even with the return of D'Aversa, who have only got 1 point in 5 games since he has returned. Now to end off round 21 was Lazio hosting Cagliari, with a goal from Ciro Immobile. All that was enough to secure the victory, and Lazio go on to win their 6th consecutive victory in Serie A, picking up 18 points now, and have really climbed up the standings now to put pressure on the other teams after a poor start to the Serie A season. So now, before we talk about some of those results more in depth, if you have any thoughts about these matches, any particular, any favorite towards this weekend's match, be sure to comment below and let us know. Now, starting off, of course, with the first game of the weekend was Fiorentina Inter. Now, it was going to be definitely a tough task for Fiorentina, considering they were missing two important players in Castrovilli and Milenkovic as well. They drew their last game against Torino, which was very disappointing considering they were also in 9 men and couldn't hang on to that as well. So they're going to definitely try and keep Inter at bay, but it was definitely tough as Inter were trying again to get the victory, get an important result going into this. Barella, who's having a I can't even speak now, but just basically having a great season, keeps up his good form, scoring a great goal from distance, beating Dragowski as well. He is definitely the heart of the midfield here, helping Inter, create plays, run the midfield, winning the ball back, trying to push up the field. He's definitely doing everything they can, and this one is important for Conte's men as they want to continue to put pressure on their city rivals, AC Milan, and perhaps even to perhaps take top spot away from them going down the line. And we do have, again, I keep saying the derby coming in a couple weeks now. So getting this win and still maintaining the 2-point difference at the moment was important as because if they can get another win next week and win the derby, they will definitely pass Milan. And depending on the result, could have the head-to-head over them as well. So that this is important, and they again, because if Inter do keep playing first, they do put the pressure on Milan to get them to win as well, or just put pressure saying, we're first. Let's see what you can do. Try to top the result. So this was good to have them, get the win there. Now we'll move on to Saturday. Now, basically, there's a lot to talk about here because all these games were really interesting. I'm only going to spend a few moments on some of them, just to touch on that. But again, these were all great games, important results for some teams, and a couple upsets, like I said before. So the first one was Sassuolo Spezia. Now, Spezia did come out fighting in this game. They were very dominant, but Sassuolo did score first against the run of play. But Spezia managed to come back and get the victory, and it does condemn Sassuolo to another disappointing defeat. Now, they don't have any wins in their last 5 games, and considering the great start that they had at the beginning of the season, they were like top 4, top 6, and like you knew they were going to drop down, but now they've dropped down all the way to 8th spot and just are quite a few points away from some of the teams that are above them. But they did drop out quite a lot, and their form has dipped quite a bit. It's not something De Zerbi would have liked to see, considering, again, the great start that they had, the players they had, the type of football that they're playing. But they do need to find confidence if they want to pick up their form and not drop any further away from that's probably most likely Europa League, because that did seem their aim at one point as well. And I know like all the early games did was picking up points, but if they can't get any points in the second half, or not as many points as they would like in the second half here, they're going to really struggle and keep dipping off if other teams continue to get points themselves. And with Spezia, they were heavily tipped to be relegated this year, but they have really astonished everyone this year. They are 6 points away from the relegation zone, and they've picked up quite a few points considering. If they continue like this, they are definitely staying up. Also, you have for the fact that other teams have been really struggling, not finding wins. They are getting wins against sides like Sassuolo here, sides like Sampdoria. So they have really been able to surprise critics here, and they've played great football. Italiano has done well. Despite their struggles and some heavy defeats, they have still picked up important draws, important wins, and if they continue like this, they are going to see another season in the top flight. They just have to keep getting points more often as well, we'll say, because this way they put more pressure on the teams under them and can continuously pull away from the relegation zone and just distance themselves from the bottom. Now, with Atalanta Torino, I don't really think anyone saw this coming, but I know Gasperini did say that he is really taking more into consideration the game against Napoli coming up for the second leg of the Coppa Italia, but this was also a huge blow to them as well, considering win would have helped push them closer to the top four. But then now they're just sitting a few points out and need to find a way to get back on there, pick up their form once again. But like I was saying before, Atalanta at one point were 3 goals up to nil within the first, I believe, 25 to 30 minutes of the game. But Torino managed to get 2 late goals in the second half. Belotti getting his own rebound from the penalty, while Bremer putting in after some confusion from the box. And then they got a late equalizer from Bonazzoli. 85 minutes passed by. With only 5 minutes left in the game, he managed to snag the point for Nicola's men. And like I said, this is their third draw now under Nicola, and it is also their third comeback in those games. The results that they have came back in were from going 0-1 to 1-1, 0-2 to 2-2, and now 0-3 to 3-3. So quite an interesting look at those games there. But they are playing much better and definitely able to show that they have a fighting spirit and get a necessary result for them if they want to stay up this year. And they do put more pressure as well. And I know I keep using the word pressure, but it is something that we have to say, because if they get win, then it's the pressure's on the other teams below them to try and steal a victory away from some top sides that some of these teams would be playing, or just the mid-table sides where they do have a better chance at stealing something away. Because if they don't get anything as well themselves, then they're gonna find themselves relegated. So Torino doing a good job there, but if they need to get now a win, complete the comeback with a victory, and that will definitely help them raise themselves up in the standings and pull further away from the relegation zone. I know Nicola is still working on that, but at least he is able to pull away results, because considering with Giampaolo, in the 18 games that he was in charge, they lost 23 points from winning position. And with all that, they would have definitely steered clear away from the relegation zone, would have been in a much better position, and just wouldn't have thought about being relegated. Giampaolo could have even kept his job, but he has just really gone downhill from there. So this is an important result, and Torino must keep this up if they want to stay alive, because if they go down, I do feel that they will lose a lot of players. Belotti won't go down to Serie B. I don't think Zaza would anyways. Sirigu may or may not. It depends. Like, he himself actually hasn't had that great of a season. It's not the Sirigu we've actually seen in recent years. Even with his age, he's still a great goalkeeper, pulling off great saves when he can. So he did have another off game for himself. But let's see if he would be one of those to stay. Bazzelli, Izzo. Those are some players I don't think would go down if they happen to be relegated. But I even just say in general, Belotti I don't think would be staying into next season, because I do feel it's time for him to move on from Torino and perhaps get the chance at a bigger team. But we'll see what happens in the summer. Now, with one of the bigger games of the weekend was Juventus-Roma, where Pirlo were looking to continue their run to get a third consecutive victory. Well, Roma just want to keep up the pressure, get a little momentum going to pull even closer to Inter and Milan. And in this game, like I've said in the last couple of videos, Juventus have definitely improved, not looking as much as individuals, but more as a team. It does seem like Pirlo is starting to get them to play much better. There are still some instances where they don't play amazing, and they still feel that they aren't, again, the same Juve that we've seen. But we have seen the quality drop a bit from the Juve side in the last couple of seasons. But anyways, he's starting to get his team to click better. The midfield is starting to come together with McKennie, Arthur, Rabiot, Bentancur. They're starting to play a little bit better now. Juve is now starting to get the best out of Cuadrado as well. So that is good to see for them. While Roma have looked good, but they were missing a couple of crucial players. And I know El Shaarawy and Reynolds, some new additions to the team, weren't called up. So that would have helped a little bit for them, just get some extra offense up the front, especially because they were also missing Pedro because of an injury. And the one thing to say about this game, it's not like both teams played great, but they didn't play bad. Like, it was a middle of the pack kind of performance. Like Juve, I'll say, kind of deserved their win a bit more than Roma, just because they defended much better. They took care of the chances that they had, and they did really let Roma do any. Roma maintained possession throughout the match. They kind of created opportunities, but nothing that was too threatening for Szczesny. But like I said, Juve had, with the couple chances that they did have, took advantage. Ronaldo scoring as well. He's scored his 16th goal of the season. I found he actually did a lot more in this game other than scoring, because I know a lot of times I have said even if he has scored, he tends to disappear throughout the match and not be seen afterwards. That doesn't create anything, doesn't get involved as much, but he was a little more involved in this match than in the recent weeks. And he did score after not finding the net in his last three. I know that's not something, all strikers go to that, but you don't really hear it that much from Cristiano Ronaldo. So he did get back to scoring ways and stayed atop the Serie A top scorer charts right now. And then the second goal coming from an Ibanez own goal. But Juve was happy to see Chiellini, who is actually in good, solid form, and it does show even at his age. I think he's 37. We'll say 38, maybe 36. I know he's up there in his late 30s. He's around there. I'm gonna go 37. But he does show he is still one of the best defenders of Serie A, and he really kept Mayoral quiet, closed down Dzeko when he came on. He really tightened up the defense, and it's good to see that Juve have a strong center back now available for them going forward, and this does help them, especially in the upcoming matches too, if they want to continue putting pressure on the sides above them, on Milan and Inter, because if they can get a full fit team playing well and getting results, then they could perhaps go on and to clinch their 10th Serie A Scudetto, or 10th consecutive Serie A Scudetto. But it is definitely a great result for them as they continue their great run of form. Now with Roma, their woes can struggle too against top sides here, as they have yet to beat any of the top sides this year so far. And they would hope to, I know it's not that important in the sense, if they can get draws against them, that's good, and if they can beat who they need to beat, then that's good as well. But I've said that if they can't beat a top 6, top 8 team, depending who they are, then the struggles are definitely there, because they need to beat those sides to show that they are competitive. Because if they don't, then they can really struggle against top European sides as well. And it does because getting a victory against these sides too is important, because now head to head is important. I always keep reiterating it because it is important. It can make or break where a team finishes. It can win them the Serie A title. It can save a team from relegation. It can help you qualify for European competition. So it is important if they manage to get a victory and win the head-to-head if they want to get in a good position to qualify for Champions League, qualify for Europa League, even though their goal is most likely Champions League. But it does come in handy, because if they finish tied points too, if other teams pick up points on top of them, or win their other games while Roma continuously drop and they're tied points, then the head-to-head will see Roma perhaps slide down the standings and may not qualify. I think they will, but if you guys know what I mean, it's that pressure of not qualifying now. They do need to pick up their game, and they hope to integrate Reynolds, Elsha into the team, and hopefully pick up the important points going forward. Now with the last game on Saturday, the big one as well was Genoa Napoli, which I said was one of the bigger upsets of the season. A brace from Goran Pandev in the first half really helped to solidify Ballardini's rise for the Genoa team. They have picked up in a standing, I'm going to say is it 17 points maybe, but he only has one loss, and that was to Sassuolo in the few games that that he has had with them. And I know Napoli were missing quite a few players as well. But the one thing I do want to say about Napoli is that at least they do have Osimhen coming back, but they have Mertens out injured. Um, they got rid of Lorente. Milik was basically frozen out of the whole team, and then you have Petagna that starts. So it's almost you basically just have two strikers. I feel that they still need some more depth up front. If this that way you have a variety of players being able to create the difference up front. Because Osimhen, I know, has basically missed quite a lot of the season through injury and quarantining because of COVID-19. So he was a huge loss for them because he was in fine form before that. And this is just a disappointing result for Napoli and Gattuso's men. And I've said they seem like they're picking up results. Like you feel that they're picking up a good win. They look good when they play sometimes, but then they go and lose games like this. And I've said it before. They don't beat who they're supposed to be. They aren't. Yeah, they aren't supposed to be. They lose to who they aren't supposed to lose. They lost to Verona a couple weeks ago as well. That was another disappointing defeat. Politano only managed to get a goal in the end. Not they weren't able to equalize, but it's this is poor from them, especially with a big game coming up next weekend. They hope that they can find their form quick if they have any. If they hope to have any way of securing themselves a Champions League spot, because at this rate, they might not even qualify for Europa League if they continue to drop points. Because Atalanta and Sassuolo aren't that far behind them. Well, Sassuolo is a little bit of a distance, but still, anything can change if they continue to drop points as well. And especially losing to a side that Genoa is actually in better form, yes, but they were one of the relegation candidates at one point. So Napoli really have to do better. Their players seem to be lacking confidence, and it does also it does suck for them too, because now with this game, they had Koulibaly out because of COVID. Now they lost Manolas for 3 weeks because of an ankle injury that he picked up during the game. So they are really missing now a lot of players. They do have basically in defense, unless you want to play Sarge at the back. Ramani and Maximovic, but Ramani too hasn't played much this season. When he has looked very shaky as well. I know he's trying to integrate himself into the team too, but there is a lot of work for this Napoli team, and if this does continue, Gattuso may not even last the season. But that's the thing; it's who's going to come, because I know a lot of big coaches, don't want to come midway through a season like Allegri, Sarri. They would rather come when they have a full season available, a full transfer market available. This way they can help try to get players that they want, and not just this way if the players that come in are able to fit their system much better. Um, so this way, let's see how well he can do in these upcoming games, because like I said, he does have a big game coming up, and they need a crucial result if they have any hopes of putting their season back on track. Now going on to Sunday, I know that was quite a mouthful as well, and I did say I was talking about all of them just because they were very important results for some of these teams. We're going to just touch on Milan Crotone, as Milan got the job done here against Crotone. They did have a bit of a slow start here. Crotone actually had one good chance from Adamunas, but Donnarumma really was in trouble throughout the match. Calabria actually had a goal disallowed after a wonderful work to play, but Ibrahimovic scoring his 500th and 501st goal with club teams. He did reach 500 career goals when he was playing for LA uh, LA Galaxy a few years ago, or a couple of years ago actually. But this is his 500th goal with club team, so quite an impact that he has had in his career. Ibrahimovic, at 39 years old, does not seem like to be slowing down. Um, Scoring his with that brace too. Now he has 14 goals in 11 games. I can't imagine how many goals he would have had if he was not injured and missed because of COVID-19. So he's really putting the pressure on these other forwards to maintain their scoring run too, and see if he can challenge them again. Uh, Milan, like I said, got the victory here, got the job done. It wasn't going to be a hard job anyways, but they just needed to get the goals, get the goals that are going in, score 1-2 and then get the job done. That's all they needed to reclaim first spot and keep up their fine run. They did, again. Ibrahimovic scored a brace. Rebic returning 2 goals as well, scoring a brace himself. 2 goals within a minute, and also both assisted by Hakan Çalhanoğlu after he comes back from his injury as well. He really changed the game, and Crotona basically just kind of shut off after Ibrahimovic scored his second goal, and they just left him alone. I was like, why would you leave Ibrahimovic alone? Like, you don't do that. You don't let him have all the space in the world. But anyways, disappointing, heavy defeat for Crotone. I don't think, even Stropa says, it doesn't matter the way you play. Results are what matters right now, and that's what they need. They do have one win in their last 5, but that was against relegation threatened. Not relegation threatened, but yeah, it's against Benevento, who you can say, are most likely going to stay up top if they continue to pick up points as well. But Crotone, disappointing now. They're one of the few teams who have not won away from home as well. So they continue to struggle, and trying to pick up those away points would be crucial if they hope to get increase their survival chances. But they are at least glad that the two teams above them didn't pick up anything too, as they did help, making it a little bit closer for them if they get a victory to help pass them going forward. But like I said, Milan picking up points against a team that they were expected to beat, and they have another game next week that they should win as well, but it's definitely going to be a bit tricky for them. I'll quickly touch on Parma, Bologna, and Lazio Cagliari. Parma, just going to say, because they're, again, winless since November. They have 1 point in their last 5 with the Versa, 2 points in their last 8, and have also gone 8 consecutive home matches without scoring a goal. So the forwards are not there. They're struggling up front to get anything going. I believe now it's in their last 4 games where they haven't been able to score. They have, in their last 4 games, they've only managed to score in 1 of them, and that's 1 goal in their last 5. How do they expect to win games if they can't even score goals? Like they have against Napoli last week and Bologna, they did have their chances, but they just couldn't finish, and it's really showing the type of season that they've had. It's going to be very difficult for Diversa to really turn things around, but I know they did bring in a lot of new faces, and I know, unfortunately, like with a lot of new players, it does take time for them to integrate into the team, but time is something they can't afford right now, because as they do need these points if they hope to stay alive at the end of the season, hopefully spend another year at the top flight, because this way they can fully go on to adjust themselves and perhaps work towards improving the squad a lot better this season. I know the early stages of the season didn't help, because they did have a COVID outbreak as well and did lose a lot of players, so that didn't help either. But they really have to pick it up themselves now with Cagliari and Lazio Cagliari. Lazio, like I said, picking up a 6th consecutive victory. That's 18 full points there. And they have climbed to 5th spot now, tied with their city rivals. Definitely a much improved end of the season, looking like they're on their pre-lockdown form, and looking like they're not a pushover as well. They are putting the pressure and could just squeak in and perhaps take one of those Champions League spots away. They're 2 points behind Juve and, again, tied points with Roma. They're putting the pressure on them now not to drop points going forward as well. While Cagliari too are another team that have not won since November and really have also scored 1 goal in their last 5 games. And they, like I said, they had their chances too, but they have not been able to find the net, with João Pedro being the only one to score their last 3 goals scored so far. So that is disappointing, as well as they're not getting goals from other players in the squad too. They need big changes going forward, and it's definitely tough for them right now. They are lacking confidence, and it is really showing. So that is all the games that were played that I felt needed to be discussed. If I did miss anything, be sure to let me know, comment below. If you have any other thoughts of what I said about these matches, just again, don't forget to let me know, tweet at me, or even comment down in the comment section. Quickly on the standings here, bottom 3 still remain Cagliari, Parma, Crotone. Cagliari sitting at 15 points, Parma at 13, with Crotone at 12. Torino just 1 point out of the relegation zone thanks to the draw against Atalanta, while Spezia are away, but are a bit of a distance at it. They're 6 points away, while Fiorentina are 7. And then Benevento Bologna are a little bit better now, 8 points away. But they do want to pick up some points just to help ensure some breathing room. While Genoa have been the most outstanding team so far out of those bottom table sides, sitting at 12th spot, or 11, tied with Udinese after their win at 24 points. So that is a huge result and huge jump for them. If they continue, they're assured to be safe for another Serie A season. Going to the top end of the table, Sassuolo, with their dip in form, sitting in 8th spot, just 6 points behind Atalanta, who are in 7th, and Napoli as well, tied at 37 points. Those teams sitting tied for 6 right now. So it's not like they're too far for a Europa League spot, but it's definitely going to be a mountain to climb, especially if they continue to drop points against sides below them. Lazio, like I said, have jumped up the table, sitting tied for 4th with Roma. Napoli also only 3 points back of Lazio and Roma, so a huge win against Juve, if they can get one next week, would be crucial. And they are again with the game in hand, they do have to recover against Juve. Will be important, as well as they hope to turn their season around. We have Juve, who have now jumped Roma to 3rd spot at 42, and putting pressure on the two teams, because Juve too are a game in hand, and a win against Napoli would bring them even closer to Inter and Milan in the standings, put even more pressure on them for them to continue winning. Inter sitting at 47, while Milan sit atop again at 49. So those are the standings there. If you have any thoughts about certain teams, you think some of these teams can maintain where they are, be sure to comment below and let me know. Alright, so with that done, I'm going to now quickly talk about, or quickly just state, the games that are coming up next weekend, and we'll see what types of games, and if you guys have any thoughts on them. So let's get right to that. Starting off on Friday, once again, we have one game at 2:45. That is Bologna, Benevento. Two teams looking to pick up points here and just keep crawling away from the just pulling apart from the relegation zones, just so they don't have to be dragged into a relegation battle. Moving on to Saturday, February 13th, 9 a.m. Torino, Genoa. So now this is a huge game for two teams on the bottom. Torino have not lost so far with, or no, I don't know if they've lost, but they've managed to get yes, they have not lost with Nicola so far, and hope to continue their good form, but just hope to get a victory to help, I guess, move them up a little bit, just to ensure a little more stability. I know they won't really move positions, but it definitely helps just putting some distance between them and the teams under them. While Genoa will look to continue their winning ways, and Ballardini again putting a pressure on the teams that are under them, and ensuring that Genoa will definitely stay safe next year is his goal, and it is looking like that if they continue the way they are. We have at 12 p.m. one of the big games of the weekend in Napoli, Juventus. Now, this will be the first time these two sides meet in Serie A this season, as the other game has yet to be played. So I'm not sure if they're going to reverse the fixture or do the Juve Napoli first, because I'm not sure how the rules work in this instance, because again, they would have liked to play the first game first, of course, but I guess this will be considered the first game, and then we'll see when the other game is been played. So this time it'll be at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona, while Napoli will hope to put an end to their poor run of form, hopefully turn their season around. I know I keep saying that, but they really need something to get themselves going, and hopefully this put Juve at a disappointing thing. Put them in a disappointing result, because again, 2 wins against Juve would definitely help push momentum for them, and just to again turn things around for them. And I know they are missing a lot of key players, but they need to get the best out of their team. While Juve will hope to take advantage of the fragile Napoli team and get even closer within Inter and Milan to perhaps pass them and win again another Scudetto here. Ending off Saturday was Spezia at Milan. Spezia in some decent form right now, and could have shown that they are fighters, putting in hard work results as well. They again got the great win to Sassuolo last game out, so they will hope to do the same against Milan and perhaps pull away with a victory at home. While Milan want to get the victory going into the derby, definitely put more pressure to Inter as well. Try to pull some distance and hoping Inter drop some points, continue their run, as Milan do have 2 big games coming up, especially after the derby. So they need these wins against the bottom side teams to just continue to being in the Champions League spot, which I do feel they will be, and even may perhaps pull away with the Scudetto. It's still kind of not early, but it's still early in this half, so they will hope to get the result that they need and just continue to put pressure on their city rivals. Moving on to Sunday, Valentine's Day matches here at 6:30. We have, starting off today, Roma Udinese. Roma trying to rebound after that disappointing defeat to Juve, trying to get a win against this Bianconeri side here. Udinese perhaps trying to string 3 consecutive victories. That would definitely be important and would help definitely turn their season around after not finding a win for the longest time. So now they have 4 consecutive positive results. So really great to see that Gotti has been able to turn his side around a bit, and he's been able to get the victories now. And it does seem like they managed to get the best out of Deulofeu, who had scored his first goal in Serie A this season after last scoring with Milan a couple of years ago. 9 a.m. game, we have 2 of them, Cagliari Atalanta, where Atalanta want to rebound after that disappointing draw to Torino and capitalize on Cagliari's poor form, while Cagliari will try and maybe take advantage of an Atalanta side that did look a bit fragile last week and perhaps get their first win in over 14 games and since November. So look out for that one. We could be set for another upset. Who knows? The other one is Sampdoria Fiorentina. both teams relatively, we'll say close together, 5 point gap, which isn't too bad. But Fiorentina want to get a result here. They haven't won in 2 games now, and we'll hope to just get a win, pull away a little bit farther away from the relegation zone, so they don't get pressured into anything as well. Sampdoria also want to get a win after drawing Benevento last week. 12 p.m. we have Crotone Sassuolo. Crotone will look to perhaps take advantage of a Sassuolo side who have dipped quite a lot in form so far, and maybe get an important win, and maybe putting more pressure on Parma and Cagliari, and could, if they can pick up a win, it could push them up a little bit. Won't be last anymore, but also depends on how the other games go as well. While Sassuolo want to take advantage here, well, if they can, they do have the talent in their squad. Locatelli, Caputo, Boga, Juricic, they have the talent. They do play some good football as well, but they need to maintain consistency if they have any hope of regaining their form from the start of the season. So we could be in for a treat here. Now, with Sunday, with one more game, we still have 2 more games after that, but one more game on the Sunday, which is another big one of the weekend, Inter Lazio. Now, Inter will hope to snap Lazio's 6-game winning streak and get a victory and just keep themselves within the 2 points of Milan going into the derby. And it also depends on how Milan's game against Spezia go as well. While Lazio want to maintain their winning run, go for a 7th consecutive victory, and try to leapfrog Roma and Juve again, depending on how the results go, and try to keep within that Champions League spot after their slow start to the season. So this can be a very entertaining game with both teams in fine form as well. So be sure to catch this game if you guys can, because this will definitely be a great entertaining matchup. Now, to end off round 22 on Monday at 2:45, we have Verona Parma. Now, Verona with a disappointing defeat to Udinese last time out will hope to get a victory and just push up the table. They can even creep out for a Europa League spot as well. They're going to try their best to be consistent as well. They have back-to-back defeats as now, so they want to. Judic wants to change his fortunes and get back to their form that they were, getting results against some of the big teams this season. While Parma will try to actually get a victory if they can. I know it's been a while for them, and even try scoring a goal, because again, they have, like I said, only 1 goal in their last 5, and that is really showing. They have had the chances, but just can't beat the opposing goalkeeper or just get it. They've hit the crossbar last couple of times too, so they are just really hoping that they can do something much better to help change their fortunes. So those are all the games for round 22 coming up next weekend. If you have any thoughts or I did miss something that you wanted me to talk about, be sure to let me know. Send me a tweet, send me a message down below. Just be sure to let me know. If you haven't done so, you can follow us on Twitter for matchday updates, thoughts in general, or just any updates regarding some of the teams in Serie A. Follow us on Twitter, Calcio_bros. Also, if you haven't done so as well, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to receive notifications on all our latest videos. And we hope to hear from you guys soon. Ciao!